You're listening to the Empowered Divorce Podcast, where you practice being the chooser in your life again, one day at a time. Thanks for joining me. Hello, my amazing, beautiful listeners. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today, and I am so excited to have joining with me my friends, former client Elizabeth, or Zabe, as I know her, Elizabeth Garnett. And I'm going to just say, maybe twisted your arm a little to come and join me today. We're starting off the summer song series, and that you guys know I do every summer. And songs, music, such a huge part of my healing journey, and obviously yours too. I can't wait to share what more you've done here in just a second. Music is such a beautiful way to incorporate healing, to give language and love, language and understanding, putting words to better understand our lived experience, especially through trauma, abuse, and divorce. And so Zabe is, by the time y'all hear this, I think you and I will be in Costa Rica together. Sorry, suckers. We're going to be like having an amazing time in Costa Rica when you listen to this. But next year, Bali, just saying, anybody that wants to come, we're doing Bali next year.
Yeah.
We are, so we're getting ready to do that. So Zabe, you had reached out to me and just reconnected a little bit, and you sent me these songs. You're like, hey, I've been doing some writing and wrote this song. I heard the song, I read the lyrics, and like I told you before we hit record, was one of those moments where the words, and it's called Stay or Go. And even though I'm not in that place in my life, when you've been there and you have experienced everything that your song speaks to, it really spoke to that version of me, that part of me that lived this. And it was very moving, very touching. And I knew immediately I wanted to add it to my summer song playlist and let the world hear this, even though I don't think you were ready for maybe you are, I don't know, but I was like, we're going to put it on. Okay. So I am very, very excited, very grateful that you agreed to come and share this song and talk about it. But before we do, I'm going to turn it over to you. And will you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and as much of your story as you want them to know? And we'll dive into the song.
All right. Thanks for just offering this up because I don't think I was quite ready, but I've learned over the years I'm never quite ready, and you just try. So yeah, there's so much to my story. I don't even know where to begin, but I will say the past few months I've been trying to release everything that's been in my head and in my heart in a way that feels that is truly letting go. And for some reason, writing words down in a journal it helps, but it doesn't quite capture the emotion and the rawness that I sometimes feel. So I am a creative writing major. I love to write poetry. I've been writing poetry to myself for a long time. And so I started it in that way. But I realized most of the time I spend alone is in the car doing pickups or drop-offs or on my way to work. And I can't really listen to poetry that well in the car because I'd like to listen to music in the car and be able to cry in the car or scream in the car at a stoplight if I need to. And then I realized, well, if I could turn the poetry lyrics into lyrics, then I could listen to it in the car on my way to work or after work and release some of that.
Yeah.
So I realize now with AI, it can really give you anything you really want. And I used my own lyrics that I kind of created and plugged this in and said, now give me a tune that can go with this. And I unfortunately cannot carry a tune. So this is not my own voice singing, but these are my words. So,
well, it is incredible and beautiful. And if you could maybe, so the song title is Stay or Go. Where were you at just mentally, emotionally, as you were spilling your guts out onto paper and then into music with this song?
it's something that I've worked through for a very long time and honestly got stuck in for a very long time. And you and I have talked about this. I mean, I can't tell you how many podcasting groups and everything I've listened to try to work through this. I was in it for years. And now that I'm made a step in the direction I want to go, I kind of left it behind me or kind of buried it probably because it was just easier to keep taking one little step forward. But as I'm writing these songs, it's really bringing up stuff that I buried or that I didn't know how to process.
Mm,
And there was another song that I was listening to, and the line was something like, I paid a price for my choices. And that was kind of the line that got stuck in my head was like, what's the price that I paid for being
mm,
so stuck for so long? And what price am I paying now for making a choice? So that's
mm,
kind of where it started. And once I had that line in my head of like, what's my price to pay? It really brought up all of these thoughts and feelings of like, man, I paid a big price to just be stuck or to not make a decision or
yeah.
to wait on someone else to make a decision. It was a heavy price. So that's kind of how it morphed into a song.
Yeah. It's a really important, powerful, difficult question that you asked yourself there that not many people are willing to ask themselves. And I feel like it's worth acknowledging what a like the word raw is even coming to my mind thing to look at. And that alone, I just don't see a lot of people willing to even answer that question for themselves. It's a common coaching question. At what cost? When we're trying to make decisions. Okay, well, what's the cost of this and what's the cost of the other decision? But what price am I paying not making this decision or making but what I'm hearing is you allowing yourself to lean into that answer is what helped you move forward.
Yes, at some point in my relationship with my future ex, soon to be ex, I realized I am paying a big price. My kids are paying a big price. My future is going to be paying a big price, and
Mhm.
I don't I don't want it. And it's the price of staying comfortable in my discomfort was no longer worth the price of not knowing what the future held. And that I think was the tipping point where I was stuck for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like so many people can relate. And the reason why I also wanted to have this song, it's been a while since I've done it. Should I stay or should I go? A podcast or episode. And like, it's about time. But it just, I'm just going to dive in. Let's just dive into the lyrics because it really just speaks so much. Oh my gosh. You guys are going to love this. Okay. I'm going to have you just read the first paragraph before the chorus. We'll pause there.
Okay. Um, Standing where our love split in two, one choice leads to somewhere, the other stays with you. To stay is a slow fade, a silent, numbing gray. Constant reminders of words you will never say. To go is a heavy step, a map I cannot read, trading the familiar for a desperate kind of need. I'm caught between the costs, keeping our love alive or admitting our love is lost.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
starting off with a
Sounds
bang.
differently when I actually read it back to myself. I've been listening to it for so long that it sounds differently reading it out loud now.
Is something coming up for you differently as you read it back?
Just the heaviness of it, honestly, just
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a you're starting off with a bang.
It's the only way to start a song. Jump right in. I learned with writing music, you can't jump around it. You gotta just dive
Dive right in. You did.
in. Yeah.
So what stood out to me, every line I can relate to. I just feel like every line, honestly, we could just talk and talk and talk about the to go is a heavy step, a map I cannot read, trading the familiar for a desperate kind of need. And it's really what you were saying before, staying in the familiar uncomfortable. in order to do that, how many of you listeners, I know for myself, negated my needs, ignored them, convinced myself that I actually didn't need some of the things that even my therapist at the time was telling me that is okay to need. I'm like, I'm I'm good. I'm different. I can go
It's
without that. Right? Because it does feel even, and I don't know if this is maybe the intention of that word, a desperate kind of need, but I almost feel like, oh, if I gave myself the opportunity to have that need, then in a way, it did feel like I was being desperate. I didn't like that either. I just feel like those two sentences right there brought up a lot of memories for me, brought up a lot of emotion for me in the fact of, or in the space of just, gosh, I remember how much I dismissed what I wanted and needed in my life. And because I wasn't willing at the time to trade the familiar uncomfortable. That stood out to me a lot there in that paragraph. So, okay, then you go to the chorus.
okay. Should I stay or should I go? What's my price to pay? If I stay, it's my soul I slowly lose. If I leave, my lonely path I choose. My home is a prison where the walls are closing in. The other an unknown hope. Can I begin again? I'm paying for the choice I need to make, counting up the hurts of a heart I must break.
So I'll admit the chorus is what did me in with the tears.
Fair enough.
When the chorus came and I was like, oh shit, here we go. I'm losing it. Yeah, wow. I mean, to say that I feel like I lost my soul is not an exaggeration at all.
Yeah.
And the massive fear of what this choice means to so many people, that lonely path, and lonely in so many ways that I didn't even actualize fully until after, in terms of the amount of lonely grief, lonely experiences that would come, that I would feel, that I wasn't even nearly prepared for. So that I leave my lonely path I choose. And that line right there, oh, even makes me want to gag, because there's that whole, like, I didn't really choose this, right? Like, I'm
Right?
having to choose, damn it. Like,
Right.
there's this life-saving divorce that you're having too, because we didn't really want to choose this. But yet, if we're not going to stay stuck anymore, we have to make a choice. So there is a choice in a choice we didn't want to make.
Right. And
That,
I fought so hard to not make this choice. I mean,
right.
yeah, I
Yeah.
tried everything to not have to, and I'm still here doing it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's incredibly lonely.
Oh my gosh. So, so hard. My home, a prison where their walls are closing in. Just that visual too. I like, my body just clenches because throat tightens. You lose your voice. You lose your freedom, space, the ability to
Safety.
feel, identity,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I definitely now have the space that doesn't feel as restricting and tight and burdened. Is that in itself is just
Mhm.
so much better, so much lighter. It's just easier to breathe.
Yeah. Can I just pause there on that? Because you're saying this, and you're saying this because you're now experiencing it. But years ago, when a certain someone was even saying to you, you're going to feel totally different.
You mean you?
It's going to feel in your body totally different. Can we just talk a minute about how it's just normal part of this process to not get that, not understand it, not believe it, and be like, okay, like,
Yeah. Oh,
that's
actually, no,
very
I didn't
real,
believe you
right?
for 1 second. Yeah. And even your story of like, I moved on, I now have this great life and a great partner. And I'm like, yeah, that's no way. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know how you found the random unicorn, but like, that's not a thing. Like, you can't tell me that I can go from this type of relationship where I'm just so trapped and scared and gray
Yeah.
to color again. Like, how does it seem like such a, and there's days where it does still feel like a big stretch, but the stretch
Mhm.
is so much smaller than where it used to be.
Yeah. It really does have to start with one tiny small step, just the next right step, just right now. Start to see a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Too much shuts you down. So it has to be small steps, but and at your own pace. But yeah, so then the other line again, gosh, every one of these lines here in the chorus got me. But it's like, okay, we know we have to make this lonely choice and oh God, we're losing all the things, but the walls are closing in. So I know I have to make this choice. And then it brings up this other unknown of can I don't can I even live alone, single? Like you say, is it any hope for love after this? Like, can I really begin again? And when I have my clients who are in their late 50s, 60s, I have a mid 70s right now, and she's in the middle of this space. And just that right there, can I begin again? Chokes me up. It's very real.
It's hard to it's hard to believe it that you can start over when it's all you've ever known, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next paragraph.
Okay. Memories dance, shadows on the floor, echoes of our love still calls me for more. Every step I take feels twice as hard. Our love burned hot, now cold and charred. To go feels like stepping in the dark, leaving the hope of us behind to lose its spark. Torn between the past and what's ahead. Our love is dying, but I'm not quite dead. I love that line so much. That's
I was
probably
like,
my favorite line in the whole song.
huh? I was like that
Every
right
time it
there.
plays, I just yes.
That one
That's
right there. That's the only line I really want you to just speak a little bit more to on this paragraph. Yeah.
yeah, everything in this paragraph I really like, but that line is I felt dead. I felt dead. I was doing what I need to do as a mom, as an adult. I was functioning, but I wasn't enjoying life. I wasn't really living. I wasn't trying to like try new things. I was just barely enough alive to be barely enough alive. And as a mom, I had to function to do the things. And I didn't want to put my kids in that situation where I couldn't function, but I can't say that it was awesome. You do what you do as a mom and you do what you need to do, but I
Yeah.
wasn't. I was barely alive. And I'm just now starting to realize how almost dead I was.
Yeah.
And to separate it from I wasn't dead, but the connection we had is dead really helps to piece it apart because it wasn't me, It was just
Yeah.
our relationship and our lack of connection and trust and honesty and
Right.
everything.
Right. Well, in that, I'm hearing just how familiar it is to identify with the marriage and everything in it. And I think a lot of us do that. So when it feels like that's ending, we're really connecting our identity, worth, value, lovability, all the things to the marriage itself or to them. We've identified even in relationship to them. There's no differentiation at all. So it's such a powerful line because it's that differentiated space that you step into where you're separating a relationship and even a person from you. And so it's pretty powerful. And sometimes it takes a lot of work to get to that place before you can make this hard decision. But yeah. So then the last paragraph.
Just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do. I don't trust myself and I don't trust you. I repeat it again. Tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do. I don't trust myself and I don't trust you. I ruminate on the choice until my logic is gone, paralyzed in fear of simply being wrong, spinning in circles of a mind that's never still, caught between a broken heart and my broken will. Tell me what to do. Should I stay or should I go?
Whew. I feel like this paragraph really touches on a lot of the pain points of being in that middle space, that stuck space. Especially that I don't trust you. I don't trust myself. Oh my gosh. Don't trust that anything is going to work out. Stuck.
I don't. Yeah, it's and that's why I kind of repeated it because I really wanted it to be like, no, just tell me what to do. Like you don't understand. But I've been to
Yeah.
lots of therapy and a few of your sessions, and I would always say, Amy, just tell me what to do. Like
Yeah.
and I honestly would pray to God, like, show me what, just show me what I need to know. Show me what I need to know. And he would, and I'd be like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because, like, that's not the information that I wanted. And
Mhm.
time would go by and I'd say, tell me what I need to know. And I get another piece of information. And I was like, well, maybe, but I don't know. Like, I just,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So even when I was shown what I needed to know or told what I needed to know, or you telling me, hey, this is what reality is, I was still like, but are you sure? I don't
Which
know.
is such a very real, like, and that's why I love this line and love that you said it twice. It's like, tell me what to do, but maybe, I don't know. And if you never mind, no, don't tell me what to do. Or someone does tell you, and you're like, no, you're wrong. That's not right. But wait, tell me what to do. Like, even in that, and I've seen this with people and family and people and friends, where you do have people that really do love and care and see a bigger picture, and you might trust their opinion. You trust that they know you and love you, and yet, even when those people tell you what to do, it's so challenging because, as you know, and why I can never tell anybody what to do, but to show reality because it it has to come from inside. No one ultimately can really tell you what to do here.
Yeah.
It has to be something that
Just,
you do yourself.
yeah. And then just being stuck in my logical brain.
Yeah.
I was just stuck in my logical brain of like, but A plus B equals C. And not ever checking in with my physical body and saying, "Oh, when this happens, I can't eat for 2 days," or "It's hard for me to go do the things I wanna go do," or "I get choked up when I try to speak my voice," like, my body was telling me things, I just was such in my head, but, like, "But logically, I can make this work," if I just do all these pieces and I can make it work, or the flip side was like I need logic for it to make sense, but
Mhm.
it never makes sense because shouldn't make sense. But I kept trying for it to make sense, and then I would just keep spinning. Yeah, get stuck.
Yeah. Such a painful place to be. That last line, caught between a broken heart and a broken will. Might have dropped a tear on that one.
Yeah, that one does get me.
Mhm.
I mean, two things are true. Like it's
Yeah.
brokenhearted, and I don't have the will to take a step.
Then just read the chorus one last time.
Should I stay or should I go? What's my price to pay? If I stay, it's my soul to lose. If I leave, it's the lonely path I choose. My home a prison where the walls are closing in. the other an unknown hope. Can I begin again? I'm paying for the choice I need to make, counting up the hurt of a heart I must break. And that counting up a hurt of a heart I must break is my heart, my kid's heart,
Mm,
which that was such a big piece of the puzzle for me was like, what am I doing to my kids? I know I can make it, but like, how is this affecting them?
yeah.
And I mean, that's still such a huge question.
Yeah.
And then, like, how does this affect our friends and our family and everything?
What are you experiencing right now with that as you've made some pretty big steps?
That heartbreak is just part of life. And it doesn't mean that I did anything wrong. And it doesn't mean that I failed. It just means it's life. And I can't protect my kids from life, but I can be there with them and I can sit with them and I can just say, hey, this sucks. And I'm sorry this is happening and I'm not going anywhere. And letting go as a parent and letting your kids just be sad
Mm.
without trying to fix it is incredibly hard. It's so, so hard.
Mm.
Um, and I think that's where I got caught up is like, if I make this choice and end the marriage, I have to fix our broken heart because I'm a child of divorce and I understand what that feels like. And I wanted so badly to fix it. And I can't fix it, but that doesn't mean that I can't walk, walk it with them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so incredibly challenging. I know. As said before, it doesn't really get easier as you watch your children start to, in their own actualization to reality, in their own timing, start to put pieces together for themselves. And you see them walk through the layers of grief in their life, that lonely grief as a mom to experience. But it still is challenging and hard. But I think I love what you're saying there too, in that it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. And if your grief is allowed, their grief is allowed. And if your grief is okay, their grief is okay. And this is where we have to remember that emotions are energy in motion, giving us information. They don't need to drive our vehicle over the cliff. Sometimes we think that if they start to feel, they're going to go over a cliff. It's validating their own individual experience through this. And I have learned painfully that allowing them to have that and not needing to fix it, it's a little less painful. Poor girls had to learn the hard way while I was still learning, but it just definitely makes it like when all of that is piled up, totally contributes to the stuck and to not knowing what you should do.
Sure. Because as a parent, the last thing you want to do is cause your child heartbreak. And yeah,
Yeah, what I had to remember, my therapist said when I told her that, she goes, "Oh, but you didn't. His choices did." And you have to remember that it's his choices that created the heartbreak. And it will be you putting an end to the harm that allow your children to heal from something that they are unaware of that they even need to heal from right now. And I remember just being like, ugh, that was like, it felt true, but I didn't like that. But I think it's just easy to take on that responsibility of, because like the very beginning line, this is a choice we're making. but it isn't a choice we wanted to make. Just having to remind those of you who are having a life-saving divorce, like, you're making a choice because someone else already made a much more serious choice.
Yeah, and if I didn't make this choice and I chose to stay, which I did for a long time, I'm still exposing them to things that I would never want to expose them to. And at least this way, they now have a peaceful home and a peaceful place, and I'm much more peaceful and much more myself. That when they do come to me, I can regulate better myself, and
Yeah.
I can say, this is a safe space here, and it's okay. Whereas
Yeah.
before, I was so triggered and just so balancing the act of everything that I didn't have that space.
Right. Right. Again, there really is a difference, isn't there?
Yeah. And I'm not that far into it, and I can already tell a big difference. I'm hopeful now that to see what the long-term difference is, because it's still pretty short term.
Yeah. Just gets better from here, girl.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, you will. I love that you tapped into your creative part to give this song, to give our audience this song, to give the world this song from your heart, from your experience. It's beautiful. And thank you so much for being willing to come and talk about it. Anything else you want to say or end with before we go?
Well, you kind of pushed me a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I was considering doing this anyways. So I have actually put together a album of the songs that I like the best, and I'm submitting it to Spotify. So I will send you the link that you can add to the show notes. It comes out in 2 weeks, and it'll be on Spotify or Apple Music or every platform. And I have 10 songs on the album. I've written over 30 something songs now. So I picked kind of the 10 where I'm at now. It is not my voice, it is AI, but they are my words. So yeah.
I was hoping you would get that Spotify link to me. Yes. Love
Yes.
I will be
Um,
adding those songs to the Healing After Divorce playlist that is also on Spotify. So every summer when I choose these songs, they just keep getting added to that playlist. So these will be on there as well. That will be in the show notes. Yay. I'm so excited. Keep writing, keep sharing your light, your story, your truth, and helping women one lyric at a time have an empowered divorce and realizing that even in the hardest places where it feels like you don't want to make a choice, this song, and I know a lot of your other songs are encouraging them to at least just make the next right choice because they are, you all are the choosers of your life and you get to create the life that you want one lyric at a time.
that's
Because
true.
you can. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Zabe. For those of you who feel like you need some extra support in this space of should I stay or should I go, head over to the link in the show notes or amywoolsey.com and check out my self-paced video course with a workbook to help walk you through this space. You don't have to do it alone.
Standing where our love split in two, one choice leads to somewhere, the other stays with you. To stay is a slow fade, a silent numbing gray, constant reminders of words you will never say. To go is a heavy step, a map I cannot read, trading the familiar for a desperate kind of need. I'm caught between the costs, keeping our love alive, or admitting our love is lost. Should I stay or should I go? What's my price to pay if I my lonely path I choose. My home a prison where the walls are closing in, the other an unknown hope. Can I begin again? I'm paying for the choice I need to make, counting up the hurt of a heart I must break. Memories dance, shadows on the floor, echoes of our love still calls me for more. Every step I take feels twice as hard. Our love burned hot, now cold and charred. To go feels like stepping in the dark, leaving the hope of us behind to lose its spark. Torn between the past and what's ahead, our love is dying, but I'm not quite dead. Should I stay or should I go? What's my price to pay to stay and to go? If I stay, it's my soul I slowly lose. If I leave, it's the lonely path I choose. My home a prison where the walls are closing in, the other an unknown hope. Can I begin? I'm paying for the choice I need to make, counting up the hurt of a heart I must break. Tell me what to do, just tell me what to do. I don't trust myself and I don't trust you. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do, just tell me what to do. I don't trust myself and I don't trust you. I ruminate on the choice until my logic is gone, paralyzed in fear of simply being wrong, spinning in circles of a mind that's never still, caught between a broken heart and my broken will. Tell me what to do. Should I stay or should I go?